Mojang is about to ruin Redstone. Well, sort of. Yesterday, a new snapshot came out, 24W33A, and in there, there's some fundamental changes to redstone dust and minecarts. Some of them are pretty good, but others are really bad. Starting with some of the good ones, we can now change the maximum speed of minecarts with a command, which lets us do very silly stuff like this. It kind of hurts my eyes looking at this, so I'm just going to launch him off into the distance. So yeah, minecarts can now jump off ramps, which is pretty good. They used to instantly slow down as soon as they were airborne, but now they actually keep their momentum going through the air. They also fixed this bug where if you have a minecart on one track and then you place another minecart on the track next to it, this minecart would then budge this minecart and push it forwards. That doesn't happen anymore, so that bug is finally fixed, and it's just a nice to have. They've also improved how accurate the visual representation of minecarts is. In the past, the game was really inaccurate at visually showing where the minecart actually is. You would see a minecart powering a detector rail when it was 5 blocks away from it. But now it's a lot better. It's not perfect, but this minecart is now powering the detector rail when it's only 2 blocks away from it. So a bit of an improvement, but as far as I've seen, they haven't done anything to boats yet. The visual position of boats is still really inaccurate. That's all of the minecart stuff, but there's also one really good change to redstone dust that I really like. And that change fixes a bug that happens when you have pistons being powered from above like this with a line of solid blocks. Normally what happens when you do this is in some locations, maybe 1 or 2 of the pistons will extend, but then won't retract even though it's not powered anymore. And so you have to give it an extra update to get it to retract. And this was because of Redstone Dust's update order. But this is fixed in the new snapshot because Redstone Dust now updates in a predictable order. This also means that if I have 2 pistons facing each other like this and I power them at the same time, the one that's closest to the lever is the one that gets powered. But if they're an equal distance away from the lever, then it's random. And I'm not sure how to feel about this. If you've watched my video on Bedrock Redstone, then you know I'm not a fan of random behavior like this. But at the same time, it does kind of make sense to do it this way. And if you have pistons that are crossing over like this, then you can force one to extend based on which one is in line with the lever. You see, this redstone dust is parallel with the lever, so it powers this piston first. If I do the other lever, then this one goes first. And then if I power them from above, then it's random. And this works in all directions. You can see here it works just fine. And then here it also works. And here it also works. Okay, so all of this sounds really positive so far. So why is the title of this video so negative? Well, it's because there's some other things Mojang did to redstone and minecarts that basically breaks everything. Redstone dust no longer gives block updates to things that it's not powering. In the past, these pistons would extend when I updated them with this redstone dust, but that doesn't happen anymore. But for some reason, this still updates it, and so does this. Now, the reason they've done this is to try and improve the performance of redstone dust, which is something we've been asking for a long time. However, the way they've done it is going to break a lot of things. Lots of redstone dust relies on this updating these pistons, and it's not necessary to break stuff here. My friend Igna has actually looked at the code for the new redstone dust, and from what he's told me, the way they've implemented it could have been a lot better. There are already mods out there that fix the lag caused by redstone dust and other things without breaking stuff like this. There's Spacewalker's alternate current mod, and there's Theosib's fast redstone dust, which is part of Carpet mod. And I don't know if Mojang looked at those mods, but this kind of breakage is unnecessary. Modders have already given us the solution for this in a way that's satisfactory to most redstoners. So I'm not sure why Mojang decided to do it this way. And because redstone dust doesn't update blocks that it's not powering directly, it also means that stuff like this doesn't work. You have to manually update the piston to get it to power it, which also breaks a ton of stuff. You can't power pistons from above with transparent blocks, which is also going to break stuff. So again, you just have to give it a manual update. This is not good. This is pretty unnecessary in my opinion. Modders have already fixed redstone dust performance without messing with this stuff. And because of this, this new redstone dust is also a bit buggy. If I power this redstone dust from here and then power it from this lever and then unpower it, that redstone dust switches off when you can clearly see it's supposed to be on. And if I update it, it turns back on. So you can literally just make redstone forget that it's powered when it's trying to go down a transparent block, which makes no sense at all. This is so janky. Now, obviously this is a bug and Mojang can fix it, but it's still very silly. Now, some of these redstone dust changes are going to be really bad for zero-tick builds, and one of the reasons is this thing. This is a commonly used zero-tick pulse generator, but for some reason, sometimes it will pulse this piston and other times it won't. So now it's an RNG zero-tick pulse generator, and that's not good. In the past, this would reliably only ever power the top piston, but now sometimes it will power the bottom piston. Randomness has its places, and this is not one of them. We don't want RNG in our zero-tick builds. And if that wasn't janky enough, it only ever does it facing east and west. If it's facing north and south, then it never does it. So altogether, these redstone dust changes break most zero-tick stuff. This thing, broken. This door, broken. This door, broken. This door, broken. This thing, broken. The only thing of mine I found that still works is this, which kind of surprises me, to be honest, because of how much dust is in it. But don't just take my word for it. Take it from two of the best zero-tick redstoners I know, Lumendo and Algae. They've both posted videos showing just how much of their stuff is broken. Now, because of these changes, redstone builds aren't really directional anymore, which is a good thing. Stuff like this used to be directional, but now it's not. But as it is it worth the sacrifices? No, it's not. And going back to the minecart stuff, piston bolts, they don't work anymore. The minecarts just don't align correctly on these curved rails. Mojang has said that they'll make minecarts faster in the future, but we don't know yet if they're going to make them as fast as piston bolts were. Another annoying thing is that you can't stack minecarts inside each other anymore. It might look like I'm placing minecarts, but there's only one minecart here. And if you try dispensing minecarts instead, then it just drops them on the floor. But it also does this if the minecart is one block away from the dispenser, so it's kind of glitchy. If you want to stack minecarts, you have to do it like this now. You gotta drop them in from above. So because of these changes, a lot of stuff is gonna break. Transportation is gonna break, farms are gonna break, zero-tick builds are gonna break, and a whole lot more. The changes to Redstone Dust update order are good, but the changes to Redstone Dust block updates, while they do increase performance, they are catastrophic for any redstone build made in the last 11 years. Now, obviously, these changes are called experimental for a reason. It's just testing the waters and seeing what feedback we give. And this time, the feedback is mostly negative. There are some good things about this snapshot, but most of them are not good. For the Redstone Dust changes, I hope that Mojang looks at how it's been done in the alternate current mod and carpet mod. And for the minecart changes, I hope that the alignment changes are reverted and also the stacking changes are reverted. And a big thanks to Igna, Inspector Talon, and Sava for helping me prepare stuff for this video. So now we just have to wait and see what Mojang does. But for now, hey, there's a new redstone torch texture.